Good morning, students. So, after completion of your BTech, so what will you do? After completion of your course, so what kind of jobs you look for? Whether you want to pursue higher studies or you want to go for jobs. So, if your answer is jobs, so then you require certain skills. So, they are the interview skill. So now look at the important types of interviews first of all. So after knowing the types of interviews, so you can prepare for what kind of interview you are going to face in future. So the first kind of interview is called general interviews, that is one-on-one or one-to-one. And second kind of interviews, panel or committee interviews. The third one is called telephone interviews. The fourth one, interviews over lunch or dinner. So these will generally be conducted by certain MNCs, some companies. So they want to look at the dining etiquettes of the candidates and their behavior, etc., etc. So for that purpose, so they'll be conducting interviews over lunch or dinner. And sometimes conference call interviews will be done. And so these are some varieties of interviews. And apart from these things, so we have certain kinds of interviews, take for example, they may not be job interviews, but so if you want to get admission into BTech or MTech or MCA or MBA, so you'll be undergoing certain tests. And after qualifying that test, so you will face some interviews, especially MBA or MCA students, or even if you want to enter into BTech, you'll be called for interviews. Interviews means in the sense, so after declaration of the results of MSET in AP, so the candidates will be giving the web options, and after that, one fine day they need to come to the respective colleges in order to get their seat confirmed in that particular college. And on that day, so they will actually hand over all the required documents, etc. And in some cases, some many interviews will be conducted. So they will ask about their data, their whether they want hostel accommodation, etc., etc. This is a kind of mini interview. Okay. And so likewise, even for getting admission into higher studies, especially MBA in some IIMs, etc., you need to attend for several rounds of interviews. So one may be the first face-to-face interview, and the second round may be group discussion, or sometimes a third presentations, individual or group presentation, and finally the final selected list will be announced. So in such a way, interviews will be conducted not only for jobs, so even for other purposes also. So getting admission into higher studies. And sometimes after getting jobs also, sometimes people will be interviewed in order to get promotions or in order to get termination, etc., etc. So like us, now we'll discuss the various types of interviews, so which we are going to conduct for jobs. And so before that, so you need to learn about the qualities. So the interviewers look for in a candidate. So the first important thing in a candidate should be confidence. So if the candidate has prepared very well, so that means both the subject knowledge as well as the other desirable skills like soft skills and other managerial skills, leadership skills, etc. So definitely, so they seem to be very confident if they have prepared very well. And secondly, they should be able to communicate their ideas very well. That means they must have very good communication skills. And thirdly, they should have assertiveness. But at the same time, so it should not be like dominating over others. So whatever they want to say, they need to declare it with confidence. Okay, but not with overconfidence. And next desirable quality is sociability. So whether they can mingle with the people in the groups or not, etc. And the other required quality is initiative. So whether they are able to initiate any process or anything, etc. So this is another important skill which is required, especially for certain jobs in MNCs. So next one, for whatever job you are going to do, so you need to be very honest. So that is why honesty is another important parameter they look for in a candidate. And then your intellect. So whether your intelligence so can help their organization to grow or not. So whether you're really a great intellectual or not. So if you're really a great intellectual, definitely you will help the organization to grow very well. And your attitude means not the negative attitude. So the good attitude, so being very polite, being honest, very frank, and possessing certain adaptability qualities, etc. So these are the desired so parameters in a candidate. So when he goes for an interview, so that is why organizations look for certain qualities like this. And so apart from that, so again, we have already discussed in the previous lecture about the 7 C's of communication. So because whenever you're communicating your ideas, you need to keep in mind those 7 C's. Okay. So now look at the another important aspect related to the interview skills, your body language. So how your body language will be or would be at the time of interview. Okay. So your body language covers many things. So like your attitude, your eye contact, your posture, your gestures, your sit back, relax, that is your sitting position, and then the movements, the smiling, nodding your head, leaning, and then facial expressions, etc. So all these add to your personality. So for example, so you might have many doubts related to sit back, relax, gestures, postures, etc., etc. Even your body movements also. So when you enter the interview chamber, so generally, so before entering, so you need to take prior permission from the board. Okay. And then if you receive some signals from them, so then you will enter and so stand and greet all the members. And after greeting them, so you need to be in a standing posture. And so till they invite you to sit, so you should not. So if they ask you to sit, then so you can take your seat and so sit in a relaxed manner. So relaxed manner means so don't keep your legs, one leg on another leg, that is sitting cross-legged, etc. So sit comfortably. So by leaning your back against the back of the chair. So in such a way, that is the comfortable posture. And keep your hands on the table or on your laps by keeping your file on the table. And look at all the members with a smiling face. So because so smile is a universal gesture. So that indicates warmth, affection, love, friendliness, etc. So that is why always have a smile on your face. And so your facial expressions should clearly show certain kind of enthusiasm. So if they ask any question, be enthusiastic in answering that question. And if you know the answer, then only you should answer it. Otherwise, politely say that you don't know the answer. So in such a way, so you need to use your body language. So even sometimes you're nodding of the head, etc. So without using words, sometimes they'll be asking certain questions. So if you recklessly give them answers, your attitude clearly shows that you're not interested in that position. So if you're not interested, you should not have come to that interview for that particular post. So that is the indication or message you are going to convey to them. So that is why if you are going to attend any interview means, so definitely, so you want to get through that interview. So you want to secure your job. So with that purpose only, you'll be going to the interview. So that is why. So you need to be very careful about your facial expressions, your body language, your posture, your personal appearance, your eye contact, and your sitting posture, etc. So these are certain things so which are very important. So in interviews, and in the next lecture, so we'll be covering the rest of the important points related to interview skills. So thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you. Bye-bye.